By Colin Dlamini, who's the Head of Regulatory Affairs at Kagiso Media. Thanks so much for joining us. If this bill is signed in its current form, just what effect will it have on the creative industry?
This bill will have a devastating impact on the creative industry as a whole, to authors, to publishers, film producers and filmmakers are really going to be let down by this bill. It's a bill that I've never seen such
What is the biggest problems that, I know there's many, but yes, what would you say the most fundamental things that really need to be dealt with?
So, for example, we've imported a US concept called fair use, which will allow people to photocopy as much as they want. And, these are overbroad exceptions that, are far more expansive than we've ever seen in our legislation. So it does not protect the creators of content. It actually gives more rights to users to use copyright protected works. So in effect, it's expropriation of property without compensation. What was the
rationale? There must have been some good intentions in it.
Certainly, there were good intentions. Unfortunately, they are outweighed by the unintended consequences of this bill. There'll be regulatory overreach. The minister is now allowed with this bill to prescribe what the terms and conditions would be in contracts between musicians with recording companies or between authors and publishers. And how can the minister prescribe what the contract terms would be?
So this thing was sitting at the DTI. Do you think that that might have contributed to some of the missing parts of the law, because DTI looks at things in an economic and business sense, and maybe it should have been at arts and culture?
No, certainly, but also the DTI should have conducted more research and conducted a socio-economic impact study to see what would be the impact of this bill on creatives. And the DTI has failed to do that. We've even invited the DTI to consult with stakeholders and understand how do we use copyright in our respective sectors, in film, in music, in publishing, book publishing, and they haven't done that.
Did they not engage with you as a creative community and put it out for public discussion?
So there has been public consultations, but for us, they've been just a tick box exercise because we've been given limited time to make comments. And also, these are not, the consultations we've had with the DTI, they've not been meaningful. Yes, they could say they've ticked the box. We've had numerous public consultations in Parliament. But when our submissions are ignored, that cannot be meaningful consultations with the public.
All right. 30 seconds left. What's your message to the President right now as he picks up his pen to sign this thing?
We're saying, President, hold off. Don't sign this bill. This bill, you need to send it back to Parliament to be redrafted because it's ill-considered, and the unintended consequences will have a huge impact on South Africans and how we can be ready for the fourth industrial revolution. Because in the 21st century, it's no longer about access to information. It's about access to creative opportunities for us to compete globally with the best and be the best nation with respect to our creative works.
Okay, Colin Dlamini, I hope that the President is listening. Thanks so much indeed for joining us on the program.
Thank you, Peter.
All right. Okay.